Week 3 now, and look at the top scoring quarterback. That's our prediction for who the top scoring quarterback will be. Marcus, who is that guy?
Patrick Mahomes.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good at playing football. He's got the Chicago Bears this week, and the Bears have struggled certainly to start the season. Although I don't think this is going to be just sort of a bombs away thing for Mahomes. I feel like this is going to be sort of death by 1,000 cuts. 56 of his 80 pass attempts have been within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. 87% of his passing yards have come after the catch. Right now, the Bears giving up a lot of stuff underneath, so I see a lot of short throws to guys like Travis Kelce, getting Sky Moore involved, Kadarius Toney if he's healthy and ready to go, getting those guys involved and letting them sort of do the rest of the work. But either way, I think it ends up being a big day for Mahomes.
In a Super Bowl rematch, I have a Monday night showdown for Joe Burrow. Obviously, you need to keep an eye on this one because we are tracking his calf injury. However, if he's good to go, the Bengals need this win, and the Rams are one of 4 teams with 0 takeaways so far this season. I saw some vulnerabilities from that Bengals defense, which means the opportunity for a very high-scoring game, meaning Joe Burrow. Let's get it back. Him and Jamar Chase. Let's go.
And if you have Joe Burrow, you need to rush out to the waiver wire to add Matthew Stafford. That way, when the decision drops on Monday, you're good to go with either one of those guys. Speaking of former Rams quarterbacks, Jared Goff and this Lions offense. Listen, the Lions are back to being the Lions, which is what I love. You're a very entertaining. They're very entertaining, and then you just lose.
Be careful. Yeah.
It was really weird watching them win in week 1, but then in week 2, you're like, okay, the earth has been restored. Yeah. Okay, we're back on its axis.
Don't have to ice skate home.
But this is going to be probably the most high-scoring game of the weekend, them against the Atlanta Falcons. I want as many shares and as many players on this thing. And even though Jared Goff finally threw an interception, he is still a very capable fantasy football
He got it back together right after.
He was great.
It was a pick six.
He's good.
He didn't fold at all.
No, that was huge.
That was actually my fault. Cynthia called it because I said he wasn't going to. It's purely on me. Maybe hopefully I'm not putting the kibosh on Tua Tagovailoa. He's going up against the Broncos defense that might not be the Broncos defense of 2022, especially as Rank mentioned after what Sam Howell and the Commanders did, coming all the way back from down 21-3. Tua's throwing for 357 a game. He's averaging almost 10 yards attempt.
He's good.
It does hurt that Waddle's in the concussion protocol. We'll see how things go, but I feel confident this offense is going to score.
River Creekcraft, baby.
Yeah, it's all River all the time. Let's talk about running back, Cynthia. Who's going to be your RB1?
Sometimes, the simplest answer is the one that you should take, and it's Tony Pollard, who's tied for the most touches in the NFL since the beginning of the season, and he also gets the Cardinals. And I'm not saying that the Cardinals' defense isn't good. I'm just saying that it's not that good. It's not good. And Tony Pollard is good. When I'm looking at his opportunity, I think that they want to keep Dak as clean as possible. This team has huge aspirations. So you know what you do? Run the football. I think there's going to be a big lead that they'll be playing with, meaning lots of positive game scripting for Tony.
I'm going to stick with the Lions and the Falcons, and I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson. Again,
not Brian. Is it Brian or Bijan?
Listen, they rolled the right tape. I got to be honest. We're 2 for 2. This is great for a Tuesday. This is what happens.
2 for Tuesday.
Live television. You never know what's going to happen. You just don't know. But we do know that Robinson is going to be excellent. He leads the NFL in big plays already. He catches the ball out of the backfield. And much to the chagrin of everybody who drafted Kyle Pitts or anything like that, it's all Robinson all the time. And we kind of love to see it. So every part, again, going back, every part of this, everybody except for Kyle Pitts is what I'm saying. Get everybody. No, I don't know.
That's actually going to be the name of your team next year. Christian McCaffrey is playing the Giants. Here's what happened against the Giants. As Cynthia mentioned, Tony Pollard scored twice. James Conner ran for 106 on a score. Now here comes a guy that scored a touchdown in 11 straight games, including the playoffs. He's played 92% of the snaps. Leading Cynthia to maybe suggest that Kyle Shanahan might occasionally not tell the truth. Maybe they'll throttle him down.
In fairness, he likes being a lying liar who lies. He doesn't mind that I say that.
And also,
I asked.
Okay, well,
I asked.
They're on good terms, and the Giants have given up more points than anybody in the league.
Sorry, I'm just marveling over that Brandon Ayuk block there, just pancaking a guy.
Boop.
I'm going to take the running back that was on the other side of that Rams 49ers game, and it's Kyren Williams. One of these things just doesn't belong here. We had 3 running backs who were drafted probably in the first 2 rounds of your draft, and then this guy whose name few people knew until a couple of weeks ago. But the backfield takeover is complete in Los Angeles. Played 98% of the snaps in week 2, 80% of the rushing attempts, 80% route participation. And he's got a Bengals defense that's struggling against the run right now. They're giving up 192 yards per game. Throw in the fact that Williams is going to catch a few passes, and there's a big game coming.
Seems like he was a good hurdler. Like, I
Must
gotta
have been,
look that
right?
up. Like,
Probably.
his hurdle.
He fundamentally changed the state of Mississippi while he was in college, and now he's doing it for the Rams. Let's get to some receivers, Rank.
Well, you know what? You were probably expecting me to pick Amon-Ra St. Brown or Drake London. Nope. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb. I think this is a pretty easy one and a pretty good matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. One of the biggest fears I kind of had when you were looking at opponents going against the Cardinals is like, is this going to be a blowout? Are they not going to throw the football? What we've seen out of the Falcons, but also the Cardinals, very feisty. They're able to keep up with teams, and they make the games very entertaining.
No Buda Baker, though.
I know, but that means there's going to be a lot of opportunity to throw the football. CeeDee Lamb tied a career high with 11 receptions last week. I expect him to get close to that number once again.
Looking at the top wide receivers for me, I'm thinking Tyreek Hill. Might have spoiled it because I had Tua going big. I think Vance Joseph's defense will have more than a few issues with Hill, who's getting more red zone targets than all the other Finns combined. This plus Tua sending him a YOLO ball at least once a game. I think Tyreek's going to be the wide receiver 1.
Speaking of YOLO balls, Mike Evans. And I just want to apologize because I didn't think Mike Evans was going to have a big year. And look, there's a long way to go, but he's come firing out of the gates. He and Baker Mayfield are clicking. 28% target share, 47% of the air yards, which basically means Baker is standing back there and saying, you know what, Mike Evans is down there somewhere, and they're throwing it up. And this is an Eagles defense that has given up a lot of big plays in the passing game. They're also dealing with injuries. They didn't have James Bradbury last week. Avonte Maddox is likely out for the season. So I think there's some big shots to be taken against the Eagles secondary, and I expect Mike Evans to continue to stay hot.
Well, another Monday name. I told you that I like Joe Burrow. Well, I also like Jamar Chase. I like T. Higgins too. But if you're looking at a team that likes to throw the football, it's the Bengals. We already said that this is potentially a high-scoring game. Of course, there's an asterisk here. We're going to check on Joe Burrow's status come Monday. But I'm looking at those red zone targets. He had 0 in week 1 and 4 in week 2. It is the Jamar Chase explosion. He's great in primetime. This is my guy this week, wide receiver number 1.
All right, those are looks at our ones. And while we're in prediction mode, Marcus, care to share a handful of other takes?
What?
Sure, I got a handful of them for you. We're calling this Marcus My Words, and I'm going to tell you 3 things are probably going to be happening to you and or your fantasy league mates by the end of week 3 and maybe beyond.